There are Hollywood big-budget blockbusters, there are edgy exploitation flicks, there are scrappy independent films, and then there are Troma movies. Neither celebrated for their subtle nuance nor held in high regard by the critical cognoscenti, Troma managed to carve out an indelible place in cinema history with its 1984 flagship production featuring the first superhero from New Jersey, the Toxic Avenger. Co-directed by the Troma team of Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Herz, and scripted by Joe Ritter and about a dozen other people. After tumbling into a convenient barrel of nuclear waste, Tromaville Health Club janitor Melvin Junko turns into a radioactive monster of incredible size and strength and proceeds to clean up his grimy, corrupt town and finds love in the process. A combination of groaner jokes, splatter gags, gratuitous nudity, and outrageously energetic performances, The Toxic Avenger became a box office and merchandising smash, spinning off into sequels, action figures, off-Broadway musicals, and even a children's animated series, which is insane considering a kid's head gets run over within the first 10 minutes. The Toxic Avenger has everything you could want from a Troma movie. From the "are they serious or aren't they" themes of environmentalism, the white-collar and street trash bands of sneering villains, the deliriously over-the-top violent vignettes, and special effects that range from the ridiculous to the nauseatingly realistic. Tonight, we celebrate 40 years of Toxie and Troma, who against all odds managed to solve the world's problems and provide peace and sanctity for generations to come. True story. 40 years ago, Troma took the world by storm with the Toxic Avenger, and we are going to chat about that until the cows come home and turn blue and do all sorts of other Troma-like things. I've got an awesome panel. Let's bring everybody in, and let's say hello to Barry under your bed.
Hello! Oh my god, I've never been on a live stream like this before. This is crazy. It's like the news. Am I wanted?
Chad the Bird.
I was pretending I was frozen. I'm not. Hello!
And Lucy Ball.
Coming to you live and direct straight from the heart of Tromaville, the wrong side of the tracks, baby. I'm so glad to be here talking about these friggin' movies! Ah!
It's a much better intro than what I had.
And we are going to be chatting about the
Toxic Avenger. It's the Toxic Avenger.
We're also going to be talking about Toxic Avenger Part 2.
Which I have never seen, and I think this is exciting.
Part 3.
Also have not seen.
I really liked that one.
Citizen Toxie, Toxic Avenger 4 from 2001.
Oh my god, I have so much insight about number 4.
And we will be talking spoilers, anybody, so you could spoil these movies. But
spoiling the Toxic Avenger.
You've all been warned.
That's irony.
We will, in fact, be talking about these movies. Thanks for coming on the show, everybody, and welcome. Yes, this is the 40th anniversary of the Toxic Avenger, which has kind of become the beacon that is Troma Studios, the longest-running independent movie studio on Earth.
Oh, is that true? Is that real? Wow.
I don't know if that's real, but that's the tagline.
We're going to say it's real for today.
Yes.
It's Lloyd Kaufman true, and that's the only
exactly.
Honestly, that's all that matters.
Real quick on Lloyd Kaufman there. The thing I really enjoyed, there was a movie that I think it was one of the documentaries on, it was the documentary on Shudder that was about cursed films. And Lloyd Kaufman talks about the sign on his office that says, make a good movie, and it's like all the steps, and the first step is be safe, don't destroy any property, and at the very bottom was make a good movie, which I really appreciated about the guy, because he was just like, yeah, in the end, don't worry about making a good movie. And we're like, yeah, Lloyd, obviously we're not worried about it with you.
We're watching your movies, Lloyd.
We're with you, bud.
We know what we're here for.
But this is also the guy who sets people on fire and does car stunts with.
That's all I could think about when I was watching Toxie. I was like, dude's hands on fire, then dude's on fire, and I was like, dude's on fire. You lied to me, Lloyd. And then I realized he was probably a safe thing because everybody loves the guy.
Yeah, and you can see the petroleum jelly dripping off the guy's hand when he's on fire. It's awesome.
Let's just say his skin. His skin was dripping off. That's what
It was sloughing.
I do like the idea that on set people were like, well, we can see the jam, and Lloyd was like, so? And they're like, I got no argument.
Well, okay, so right there, Chad, you just kind of nailed the Troma aesthetic.
I did it! Good night, everybody!
Good show, everybody. See you later.
Thank you for coming.
Well,
like and subscribe.
Let me explain what the Troma aesthetic is, however, which is that they do try to make a good movie, but then they also kind of shore up their bets by making it deliberately not a good movie. Like whenever you do like the Lloyd introductions, let's say the DVDs, the camera's always waving around. And it's like, obviously the camera could stay still, but they're preparing you for the fact that there will be ineptitude on display, and it's intentional ineptitude, which to balance out the unintentional ineptitude.
Yeah,
Intentional ineptitude is my OnlyFans page, and you guys can subscribe.
That's some buffalo wings for you right there. But I think you talk about the intentional and unintentional ineptitude. I sort of look at Troma movies like trash couture. Like, yeah, they're definitely like specific, we'll say, but it's like highbrow, lowbrow, if that makes any kind of sense whatsoever. And were you talking about them being the quote unquote longest running independent film studio, however true that may be? They also came around and with specifically the Toxic Avenger, like made the Air cult movie. It is the cult movie to end all cult movies. And it has everything about the 80s and cult film that like makes people look to that kind of thing.
What are some of those things, Lucy?
I would say
show your work.
Okay, one, tits. That's just right off the
that's the best one. End of list.
If you've never read Lloyd Kaufman's book, Make Your Own Damn Movie, there's a chapter called Get Your Women Naked, NEKKID. So yeah, it's got the boobs, which you got to have for a classic 80s schlock fest.
The cheapest special effect there is.
Yeah, and then double that down with more cheap special effects. Like all of the gore effects in the first Toxic Avenger are like so ridiculous and cheap looking, but it works for the movie they're making. And I think that's another part of that essential cult vibe is the DIY sort of punk rock aesthetic that goes along with it. Another piece of the cult movie pie, I would say, is a full, sincere self-awareness. It doesn't ever feel cynical about like we're making a sort of schlock movie because it's easy and stupid, but they're making a schlock movie because they love this schlock movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think nudity, what's the word I'm looking for? Resourcefulness and sincerity are the hallmarks of a cult movie that's going to truly stand the test of time.
Those were a lot of big words. A lot of big words.
Yeah, I've been getting real academic lately.
How's your PhD coming, Doc?
My pretty not me.
Wait, is there another one in the house?
Yeah, well, not yet. But wait, are you talking about PhD or pretty huge? Anyway,
let's do a quick origin story, like how you came to the Toxic Avenger, the first one, 1984, for the first time. Barry, do you mind if we kick things off with you?
Yeah, sure. Well, I didn't actually see it in '84. I was way too young then. But the first time I saw it was early '90s, and mostly I saw it because it took place in New Jersey, which is where I'm from. So everybody was talking about this weird, low-budget film with a superhero that nobody's ever heard of before, and it takes place in New Jersey. And I think I was probably like 10, 11 when I saw it for the first time. And oh my gosh, let me just tell you, it changed my life. I didn't realize movies could look like that. I thought movies had to be like on a big screen, a big budget, great special effects, and then this idiot comes along with like melting skin and like no money put into it, and I loved it. I loved it all.
Excellent. Chad, how about you?
If you remember the first time you saw the Toxic Avenger, then you did not do it correctly.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I do not recall the circumstances when I first perused this pinnacle of cinema majesty, but I do remember the snacks afterwards. There was a mozzarella stick going on, and there was some kind of like nacho platter. It was in Boston, I do believe, is when I saw the film. And it was in my my formative years as a student. Yeah, that's when I saw it. It was like a bunch of my friends were like, "Hey, Chad, you want to go check out this movie, The Toxic Avenger?" I was like, "I've heard of that." And the morning before, we watched Class of Nukem High, which is like a one that's like close to my heart. And yeah, then we went and watched it at like a shitty movie theater and got hot dogs afterwards and stuff. So yeah, that's what it was. I wish I had a deeper story than that, but I feel like that's the correct way to do it.
No, that's
My favorite part is the hot dogs.
Yep.
Yeah, there were hot
you
dogs.
can't
involved.
go wrong,
I couldn't
can't
eat
go
it.
wrong.
You know, I'm a vegan, but at the same time, there were nachos. So
Fair enough, works.
Lucy.
I feel like a lot of people, your introduction to Troma is the Toxic Avenger. I came around to Toxie after seeing Tromeo and Juliet.
nice,
Ooh.
solid.
A friend had showed me one of the creature designs, and I was like, "What is this movie? You gotta put me on." And they showed me Tromeo and Juliet, and I fell down a terrible, awful rabbit hole where I just started ingesting as many Troma movies as I could get my greasy little mitts on. And the Toxic Avenger was among them. I think the first one I saw was Citizen Toxie.
Solid.
Wow.
And-
Start from
and
the
it-
end.
Yeah, I like to do things backwards. I'm a Final Fantasy player, but
Makes sense.
and yeah, and just I remember like seeing Toxic Avenger T-shirts and all the old toys and whatnot. Then after finally catching the movies, it all sort of clicked. Yeah,
What was the name of the animated show?
Toxic
Toxic
Crusader.
Thank you, the Toxic Crusaders. Okay.
Which is
Banger.
yes.
Love it.
Let's talk about the fact.
Wait, Doc. What's your
I'll
story?
get there in just a
Okay.
second.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta
It's
hold
like
the good
fun.
shit, Chad.
Holding
Come
the
on.
good shit.
Nice.
But
The amount of nachos I've had, it's impossible to hold the
the
good shit.
idea that like this R-rated franchise spawned a kids show, and in some ways it's very fitting because I got the Tox box, which has Toxie 1, 2, and 3, plus the Toxic Crusaders movie.
Nice.
Oh, that's not
And-
the
and
box
when-
box my dealer gives me. That's a
And
different
when
one.
You got to pay extra for that.
And when
Yeah.
you watch Toxic Crusaders after having watched 2 and 3, it's like, you know what? It was better as a cartoon because everything is so cartoony, and the writing, I have to say, is better for the animated series because Lloyd's not writing it.
Writing. Who needs it?
Well, because I mean, if you think about like the fact that Toxic Avenger 2 and 3, that was supposed to be one movie, but they shot 4 hours a foot, for a 4-hour rough cut. And
Whoa.
I was like, okay, we'll just split those into 2 movies, and now we've got Toxic Avenger 2 and 3.
Whoa, I didn't know
didn't know
that.
that.
That's
Yeah, that's
awesome.
very cool.
Wait, you guys didn't know that? Oh my god.
No, I didn't know
All-
that, Barry.
No,
Okay,
we're
sorry,
fake
I'm sorry.
fans. God.
We just hang out. We're
Okay.
fair weather.
But my origin story was that this was one that was always on the video shelves, and I kept passing it up because I'm like, I wasn't down for goofy horror. I didn't want to see schlock. I wanted to see the good stuff, right? And then eventually I kind of worked my way through all of that, and I'm like, well, I guess I got to watch the Toxic Avenger, and I loved it. This is it's so self-aware, like you said, Lucy. It's so aware of what it is, and I mean that's kind of what Lloyd and Michael Herz were going for. Was we don't want to make a horror movie because that's cliche, but we can make a horror comedy, and better yet, we'll make a horror comedy that doesn't quite have the budget to pull it off.
I feel like that was it. It's like we want to make a horror movie, but we don't have the budget. Okay, well, let's be honest about the fact that we don't have a budget. Okay, well, that's hilarious. Okay, well, then we're making a horror comedy.
And I remember going up, I was working on my first book, Horror 101, which had kind of like the
Buy
essential.
that book.
It was a nice subtle plug. I'm gonna
It had
It's
the
one of my
essential-
faves.
the essential horror movies from the silent years all the way through to like, the end of the millennium. And I was at a convention and Lloyd comes by and he sees the book and he's like, why the hell isn't Toxic Avenger in here? And I was like,
Kaufman.
I was
Classic
like,
Kaufman.
well, because it's not quite essential. And yet, in retrospect, I feel like it's the next level of essential. Like,
The balls on this guy.
I'm like, you need to
Cannot
see all
believe it.
these movies, and then you need to see Toxic Avenger, because I think that's when you can appreciate Toxic Avenger. I think if you just walk in seeing Toxic Avenger, you're kind of like, well, okay, this is kind of weird and dumb. It's like this is in conversation with everything that went before.
Yeah.
It's not a slasher. It's not a ghost story. It's something completely different.
Yeah, I do think you need to have a certain level of, I don't know, maybe awareness about
Alcohol.
well, that too, but
Thank you.
Yeah.
but maybe like awareness about the genre, because it takes enough from horror films
That's right. That's right.
that it fits in the group, but it's also sort of not really a horror film to me anyway.
It's a monster movie at best.
Yeah, it's a monster movie and like a superhero movie. It plays like the old Incredible Hulk TV show, you know. And the cartoon sound effects every time his girlfriend jumps around and it goes boing.
Oh my
like it's
gosh.
awesome. It's great.
Love it.
Yeah, I do think you need to have like a certain taste for independent or budget filmmaking to like really let it get into your mind.
If you loved Cannibal the Musical because your roommate was like, we should watch Cannibal the Musical, you'll love the Toxic Avenger. Also a Troma film, the Cannibal the Musical.
Not at first, though. Not at first. It wasn't.
No.
That's
no,
right.
it wasn't. No. But Trey and Matt did work at Troma back in the day.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, there's a really funny story in the foreword to Make Your Own Damn Movie, as we were just talking about, is written by.
Here we go. Someone read a book.
I
you
only
can read, Lucy.
I only read books by people like Lloyd Kaufman. What do you want me to do? But
Bruce Campbell or bust, as far as I'm concerned. There's only 2 books humans have written: If Chins Could Kill, and the other one,
and you know any of the others.
Right.
But the foreword is written by who's the blonde?
James
one?
Gunn, right?
Well, there's one by James Gunn, and then there's a Trey Parker. That's the blonde guy.
Oh, no, yeah, Trey Parker's the blonde one.
Yeah, he writes a foreword about selling the distribution rights to Cannibal the Musical to Troma, and how Lloyd Kaufman shows up at this shitty Sunset Strip apartment, and he's like, "Let's do lunch," and he takes him to Del Taco, and he makes them pay for the Del Taco.
Yeah, got a boy, Lloyd.
And he's like, okay, well, we're gonna have to put up this much money up front to get the movie distributed. That's gonna be your ads. That's gonna get you in the movie stores. And one of them asks, well, what's our take on this? And Lloyd Kaufman says nothing. And they're like, what? And he's like, well, you want people to see the movie, don't you?
Yeah, Lloyd is an inheritor of the crown from Roger Corman, that he was all about he was about helping people out. He would give people a shot that nobody else would give a shot to, and similar to Corman, if you did well at Troma, you might not have to work for Lloyd again. But you often saw people returning to the Troma barn stable,
the Troma Film School. Come on.
That's what it was. It literally
that's what it was called, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to jump to the end, but I'm going to jump to the end. Barry, I understand you worked on Citizen Toxie. Am I right?
I didn't work on Citizen Toxie, but I was interning for Troma at the time.
Yeah.
The human attached to me.
Give us the dirt.
And holy hell, what a place that was. I was only there. Literally, my internship was like maybe 4 weeks total, but I got such a weird crash course in like movie marketing. They were also doing, oh my god, what was the other one? Hang on. Terra Firma. Do you guys remember?
Oh, yeah.
Love that movie. Love that. One of my favorite bands has like 4 songs in that movie, Catch 22. Love it so much.
Hell yeah.
It was happening at the same time, but it was so wild to watch them work on promoting these movies and basically just like screaming about it to people. And it worked. That's all they had to do was scream about it. I went to one of the screenings of Toxie 4, and it changed my life. It absolutely changed my life to meet all these weird, independent mutants there. It was wonderful.
I've been dying to ask you since I found out you interned for them.
Yeah.
Is the Troma intern experience as grueling as Lloyd Kaufman likes to say it is?
Legally, I don't know if I'm allowed to answer that question. Let's just say this.
Noted. Duly noted.
Fun. It was fun. I loved it. As a college student, what was I, like 18, 19 at the time? Best time of my life. I loved it so much.
I think that's the only time you can survive it.
Literally the only time you can. Yeah.
Well, and we've name checked a couple of, but I want to throw a couple other Troma titles out there. Class of Nukem High.
That's my favorite.
Sequels.
Love it.
Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD.
R.I.P. Sergeant Kabuki Man.
Yes, he is in Citizen Toxie too.
He
Yes,
does.
he is. Yes,
he is indeed. Makes it appear.
Troma's War, Poultrygeist,
Ah, the poultry. That one's near and dear to me.
I bet so.
Yeah.
I love it.
Did you
So good.
feel very seen and
I
represented?
watch it alone, and that for reasons you can surmise on
And
your
then,
own
He
time.
gets real basted.
Because of the music,
you know
right?
what I mean?
Get basted.
And they aptly named Tales from the Crapper.
I don't remember that one.
Nobody does.
They
Good.
talk about that one in the Make Your Own Damn New movie. The guy who formerly interned for Troma and then went on to make movies with Troma. He shot the whole thing on like digital hand video cameras.
Hot.
And yeah, there's lots of fake shit
Lots of hand
everywhere in
stuff.
it.
And then Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet.
Which, yeah.
James Gunn. Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
James Gunn,
Exactly.
banger.
But yeah, so we've got quite the array of films that have become, kind of the staples of Troma.
An aroma of trauma, if
An
you
aroma
will.
of Troma.
You don't
Boy,
know
it
what that aroma
stinks.
is, though.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, Pat. Oh,
And-
boy.
Don't make that candle.
And they're big on, like using their resources. Lucy, you said resourceful. I mean, they actually will repeat scenes from other movies they've done. The Sergeant Kabuki Man car flip, it ends up in so many of their movies, and it's amazing. But I mean, when you do something that epic, why wouldn't you use it again and again and again?
And it's
Especially when the footage doesn't match.
yeah, and
It just makes it all the
We
better.
spent money on this. Just kidding.
It's-
They didn't spend money on it.
it's
They did
it's
not,
just
they did
such a cool Easter egg to me anyway. How like it's sort of like how they hide that truck from Toy Story in all the Pixar movies, but
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
cooler.
Or like
because
Raimi's
it's a
car in all the Raimi movies.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
It's
the
one of those
Delta.
things that if you're in the know, you're gonna pick up on it and be like, "Heh." And then you can look like that guy, which I often do,
Yeah.
to your friends when you show them these movies and go like, that's the same car flip that was in this movie, and this movie.
Literally
You use
living the
footage.
Leo DiCaprio gif from
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, just pointing at shit and whistling.
Yep, that's me all day.
All day.
Does anybody want to do a quick synopsis of the Toxic Avenger?
I want to do it because that's the only one I've ever actually seen all the way through.
Well, I was
is
going to
the
say
first one.
I won't throw you under the bus for that one.
Yeah, I appreciate you. So the movie goes like this. There's a kid named Melvin, aptly named, who's a bit out there, and he's a janitor, I think. And then
He's a mop boy.
he's a mop boy, which I mean,
boy.
professionally he's a janitor. And then there's some nasty people in town that are literally murdering dogs and kids. Like A+ making your bad guys the worst.
25
by the way-
points,
by the way-
25 and a half points.
That's like a typical Jersey thing, so like very accurate. Very accurate.
Yeah. I've been to Jersey and I survived. But anyway, so Melvin, he accidentally gets toxicated. Like, how does that? I forget how it happens. Like,
So,
yeah.
I
Wait,
got you.
Lucy,
So-
your hands up.
So, well, it's not, but I appreciate you giving me the benefit of the doubt. But what happens is one of the women who is involved in the hit and run killings flirts with Melvin and is like, "Ooh, I love a man in pink," and she puts him in a tutu.
That's right, the tutu. I
And-
forgot.
Choo-choo.
Yeah, and then he runs into the dark because he thinks he's going to get to make whoopee with her.
Right.
Or as he calls it in Toxic Avenger 3, bop. He's going to bop her.
What a bop.
By the way, this is like 3 sets of boobs into the movie.
Yeah, easy. And then he goes in and he starts kissing and they turn the lights on and he's making out with a sheep in
With a
lipstick.
sheep by a pool, right?
And they all point and laugh and he runs and jumps out a window as you do.
That's
and
what it
falls into
was.
a bucket of toxic
Just
waste.
like
yeah,
Carrie.
the toxic waste at the
Just
it's
like-
very it's Carrie adjacent. And then he becomes the superhero and befriends a lovely blind woman, and they become the cutest couple. And they renovate his sewer dwelling, which I thought was a very charming moment when they have that little make up my room montage.
Yep.
And then
Room Raiders, that
Room
MTV
Raiders,
show.
yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then he goes after all the people that did him wrong, and it's a little hodgepodge about when he's doing justice and when he's just being insane and feral. But at the end, he saves the day, I guess. Yep. And then that's kind of it.
He's got the toxic waste activates tromatons in his body, and so anytime he's
that's
around
right, the
evil,
traumatons.
anytime he's around evil, he has to react against it.
And
right those wrongs.
sidebar for the viewers who don't know, Troma films find as many opportunities to cram the word trauma into something as humanly possible.
Well, the town
God,
is called
yes.
Tromaville.
Yes, yes.
Tromaville is where it takes
Tromaville.
place.
was-
And then
that
at
was
one point he kills somebody by throwing this like woman on a grill and calls her a hot ass, which I thought was amazing. He
was
kills
pretty good.
somebody by like deep frying them in a fryer.
Yep.
And there's just a lot of like really intense
The
fast food kill moments.
crushing the drug dealer guy's head with the bicep or the
The
leg curl
the leg
machine.
curl machine.
Oh
Yeah.
my
He
God,
also
yeah.
kills a bunch of humans in a gym. But yeah, that's kind of it. Like he becomes this. He gets all of his nerd rage out and saves Tromaville. And then, like, I thought at one point it was like a Goonies style ending. Like everybody was out by the shore, and then they all came around on the cliffs and they hugged him and stuff. And that was
And
a
they
great
wouldn't
ending.
let him shoot Toxie. They wouldn't
right.
let him shoot
That's
Toxie.
right.
No, don't
And
do it.
he-
Put the pizza
he-
up in front of it.
He simultaneously goes, "Arr, arr," and then has like a Gee Willikers kind of voice at the same time. It's awesome.
Yeah.
He also has one of the greatest superhero voices ever in these
Yeah,
movies.
it's great. Yeah.
It's as you were just pointing out, Lucy. Like his performance is completely dubbed by somebody else.
But bad ADR too. Bad
And also,
ADR.
Melvin is clearly the actor who's playing Melvin is clearly not playing the Toxic Avenger because
yeah,
the Toxic
absolutely
Avenger is
not.
like 6'8".
He's
and
like
Melvin
2
is
feet taller than Melvin, and he's fucking jacked.
jacked, like up, like, and you know that that's not a bodysuit. You know that that's not CGI. That is straight up jacked muscle.
Oh, come on. They weren't affording CGI. What are you talking
There
about?
was no such thing back then.
I really.
Oh no, I mean like for those of you out there that are just like, oh yeah, I bet that was like some kind of like superhero enhanced kind of thing. I'm like, no, that was all 100% dude
Some big
in that
guy.
movie.
And I really like how on the prosthetic for Toxie, he's got his one eye to the one side and then the plastic
Yep.
baby doll eye on the other
Iconic,
side.
literally
It's so good.
iconic.
I see what you did there.
I
Thank
see
you.
what you did there,
Thank you so
Chad.
much for saying what I'm doing.
Barry, what are some of your favorite moments from Toxic Avenger?
I'm going to be honest, I love how it kind of like predicted the current healthcare system where instead of going to the hospital, he just goes home to get in the bathtub.
yeah,
What
the
is it?
bathtub.
What,
I
like,
gotta
is that going to
soak.
help you, bro? Seriously, no. That honestly, that's my favorite part of the
Well,
movie. I just think
Melvin's
it's so
parents weren't helping any. They were just like,
No,
you
no,
should
no.
just go take soak in it, Melvin. You're fine.
Yeah, he
And I
needed
like
some
his mom
Epsom
just, like,
salt.
Just owns him.
Epsom
salt.
salts.
Oh my god.
I
Wouldn't
do
that
love
burn
the
his skin
line
more?
when he's in the bathtub and his mom's like, "Oh, Melvin, you finally hit puberty."
Yeah, because his voice is like epic at that point.
It's so good. It's so good.
So yeah,
That's like 6 pairs of boobs into the movie.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Well,
I
and
like
that's-
that's your method of time is the number of boobs we have seen so far.
It
in
is
the
a
movie.
time marker
Yeah,
as
get
you
used
watch the
to it,
first
Barry.
movie.
You get used to
Yeah.
it.
Well, we kick things off. I mean, we kind of know what movie we're in when our baddies like run over a kid's head. You know, like
They
knock him off
run
his bike.
over a child's face
Yep.
in this movie.
And that was where the MPAA was kind of like, what? You can't do that.
You
I love
tell
the
me what I
NBA.
can and can't do.
But
The
that's the
NBA.
thing. Like that's the great mark of any exploitation movie is that you do something that is so outrageous that people are going to be talking about it. And there are many of those in this movie, but that's definitely one
Several.
of them.
Yeah.
In
As
like
you
every
say,
Troma
they
movie
go
too.
there.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, I mean you got the boner demon in Class of Nukem High. Spoilers for
God.
Class of
There's,
Nukem High.
there's
totally forgot
also a
about the
boner
boner
demon in Tromeo and
Tromeo and Juliet is another one.
I'm noticing a theme here, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
that
know
was-
they know what we remember.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
something I noticed about watching Toxic Avenger for the first time in a while yesterday. Was I was sitting and thinking like, man, what sort of psychosexual shit was Kaufman working out when he was making this script? Because
Well, I think it's
Jesus
very
Christ.
clear.
Yeah, it's pretty
Very
obvious.
clear.
I think it's on the face of it.
Yeah, on the melted lumpy face.
Well, and that's the other thing is that Toxie is kind of cute.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
is
like,
adorable.
His
Yeah.
his,
Yeah, I
his,
do.
his poor mutton head, melted.
I caught that, Barry. I don't know if anyone else did.
I don't care. I would do. I'm serious. I'd swipe right.
I'll just
Keep it.
rewind it.
I love the amount of times they try not to show Toxie's face, but like having people like, oh, he just walks her home backwards,
Right.
in that whole sequence, and then like, so for those of you who don't know the movie, God damn it, what are you doing here? But there's a sequence where Toxie meets the love interest.
Well, after he beats the shit out of everybody, then he takes her home.
then he takes her home.
Of
But
course.
like, okay, obviously.
do.
And by taking her home, he can't show because you haven't seen to the Toxic Avenger's face yet.
Right.
And he walks her home. Every shot they do is like her like prancing in front, and then the camera turns around and he's just like, "Yeah, this is a hell of a spot. Cool, love it." And then there's like the whole scene where she like goes inside her house, door opens, she walks up the stairs in the foyer, and he's just like, "Well, I'll just making sure it's safe. Everything's cool here." It was outstanding, and the full reveal is worth the trouble. Because I could hear Lloyd Kaufman in the room being like, walk backwards.
Yeah, we can't blow the wad yet.
Can't
Come
blow
on,
it yet.
come on.
This is
It's
the
so
only effect
different.
we have. Also, you cannot wear that makeup for too long. So just like take your
It
time.
is toxic, and it will.
it
fall off.
literally burning your skin.
The gore in this is ridiculous.
Exceptional.
Oh, it's
Exceptional.
Amazing.
And we have like several different massive fight scenes, which again, I kind of go, well, they were proficient enough in putting together, like they knew how to make a movie, but they also kind of like do things a little sloppy so that it's forgiving.
Yeah, and I think those fight scenes, I'm particularly thinking about the one in the fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah,
Batman
iconic.
goons. That fight scene is pretty well choreographed, all
I
things
agree.
considered. Like, I was surprised at the martial arts prowess of some of those actors. And the gore when the guy tries to be a hero when the dude is being creepy on
Yep.
the lady.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets blasted with the shotgun. I really appreciate that the deaths in the Troma films, they go there again. They go there, but the guy's like laying on the ground and like, and it's awesome.
Good acting.
It's great. Oh yeah,
There was a
Lloyd. Call me, Lloyd. Call me.
There was a jump kick in that sequence.
Oh yeah,
Dude
like a
is
Liu
actually
Kang kick,
Liu
yeah.
Kang kicks. And I was like, okay. Like, I thought this was going to be super cheesy, but it turns out you're professional.
Well, I mean,
And
everybody knows New Jersey is the martial arts capital of the world. Like,
Yeah, I was
everybody
gonna
knows
ask,
that. It
Barry.
makes sense.
Got a lot of ninjas in
Hong
Jersey.
Kong,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And nobody yet has mentioned the thing that received the most Troma hate mail at the time was the killing of the dog.
That's a little rough. That's a little rough.
It's
you
a
guys.
little rough. It's a little rough.
Now, see,
I hate it.
having read Lloyd's book, All I Need to Know About Filmmaking, I learned from the Toxic Avenger. Like he talks about how they got all that hate mail about killing the dog. And he's like, that dog and his trainer, like they would do that trick where he would slide the dog across the floor, and that dog would run back and do it again. And it's like that dog was having the best day of his life. And then the guts that they put on him are just like basically like spaghetti.
Nice.
And he's like, you know, that dog wanted to eat the guts real bad.
But that dog
Can't
is
say
a
it, Lou.
consummate professional. and would
Professional.
never do it.
Professional
And
dog.
I love that.
Professional
I
dog.
love that slide. Like, I mean, I loved it. And then I read about it. I was like, I love it twice as much now.
Yeah,
And to make it
it's-
even special, ladies and gentlemen, we got the dog right here.
Right here!
Dog, come on in.
Oh, no, he's very old, guys. Don't scream.
Oh, sorry.
He's probably
He
not
can't
around
hear
anymore.
you.
Okay.
Do we have any spaghetti?
No, fresh out.
He'll do a trick for spaghetti.
Yeah,
It's true, it is very-
spaghetti.
It is very brutal, and it is also like intense. But what's fun about that, which like a lot of movies I don't think you can get away with these days, is that they're like, guys, the dog's not really dead.
Right.
Like that's what the movie felt like. Like it was
And that's
saying
what it's
to me in the
telling you. It's
movie.
like, look, we didn't actually kill a dog.
Guys, obviously we didn't kill the dog.
Yeah, we're not doing the pink flamingos chicken thing here, guys.
Yeah.
It's gonna be okay.
Early trauma, sometimes you might want to second guess, because who knows? Who knows? I'm
Yeah,
not saying
that's
they
true.
actually did, but
I just don't.
I do
that's
think
a
that
link.
decapitation in Romeo and Juliet was real. You can't
that was real.
I firmly
Yeah.
believe that too, honestly.
Yeah,
No
that
doubt
guy
in my
just
mind.
had a mannequin head in real life, actually.
Yeah.
I want to throw a shout out to our actress who plays Sarah, the blind girl who later becomes Toxie's girlfriend, because I think she's quite wonderful.
She's
in the-
super endearing and
true.
charming.
like the line between mentally unstable and blind. It's kind of, if you can't see, clearly your mind's gone. But Andrea Miranda, Maranda.
Miranda.
That's how I pronounce it too.
Miranda.
Yeah, Miranda.
But she's,
Miranda.
I think she's
Miranda,
lovely. I love Mark
Miranda.
Torgel as Melvin. And
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure what Melvin's deal was, but I didn't care because I
He's
knew it
just-
was
he's
going to
just-
happen.
yeah,
He's a nerd for Lloyd Kaufman. To
He's like a
project
Mad
his,
Magazine
stuff onto.
geek, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
One-dimensional.
Pat Ryan Jr. is our mayor, the really big guy.
Oh, that's the
Yo,
guy.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
when he's getting the massage and
Yup.
housing sandwiches, he's living the life right
That's what
there.
I assume all government positions look like.
Oh, it's not. God damn it! I gotta go
That's like
cancel my
every
campaign.
day.
Get out. This is why I'm endorsing myself for alderman because I just want sandwiches.
Yeah, just give me a couple hoagies and I'll sign.
I just
what
want to
I-
lie naked on a folding table while you feed me Sammys.
Well, and Pat Ryan shows up later in Street Trash, which is
Oh,
very much a Troma.
yeah,
inspired
Troma
kind of
adjacent
movie.
film.
a
Yeah,
trauma-like, as it
Yeah.
were.
And
Nice.
apparently, I didn't notice it on this
Nice.
viewing, but Marissa Tomei has a brief cameo as a girl in the locker room.
in
I
the
thought it was
original
only in the-
Toxic Avenger.
Yep.
No, the
wearing,
director's
Whoa!
cut, I thought.
wearing
I thought it was
clothes.
only the director's cut.
only
really?
only the director's cut.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Whoa, Barry got the facts. That's crazy.
Yep. Yep.
I love this movie, guys. I love
Mary
it so
got
much.
the facts.
Facts.
Oh my god, I love that
Mary
song.
got the facts.
We have talked about
What did that Barry do? Sorry.
He's
I
a real
not, though.
strong boy.
just now thought what you were doing.
Thank you.
Chad, any favorite moments that we haven't mentioned already?
There's a moment in the movie, and I said it earlier, where he murders one of the people in the fast food scene. With honestly, that fast food fight is iconic.
Yep.
But the Toxie comes in and kills somebody, puts her on the grill, and says "hot ass," and I just had to pause it because I watched it yesterday, having seen it many times, and it hit me in the spot. I was like, that is why I love this movie, because it's unnecessary. There's no reason to do that. He's already getting burned from the butt up on a grill, and he's just like, yeah, hot ass. And it's like,
What a great joke.
That
A
did feel
plus.
kind of like it was written for you.
thank you, I appreciate it.
And
You
the
know.
guy,
thank
the
you,
guy who
Lloyd.
he gets killed and basically Toxie dresses him up like a sundae.
Yep.
He puts ice cream.
Oh, and I knew I
like,
forgot that it
about
was
that.
coming, and I knew it was happening. Like I was watching it, and I was just like, "Oh, he's gonna put his face in the mixer," and it takes his sweet time.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. And now for the viewers at home, Chad, how many pairs of boobs into the movie is that scene?
The scene with hot ass is 4.
4. Okay, good.
Yeah, because
It's
you have
pretty
to
early,
count. It's 2 because you have to count the sex scene in the gym, which is
Oh, that's right.
which is
God, yeah.
feral, like
Yeah.
upsettingly feral.
Yeah, we didn't get as like he really leans into the nudity come part 4.
Ha, come.
Oh.
Come on. What are you, 12?
Yeah, well, you'd
100,
have to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lucy, how about you? Any moments you'd like to point up?
Well, they kind of hit the big hits already. I do really enjoy the first scene where we see the two shithead couples vehicular murdering people.
Yeah.
Oh.
And every time they cut to the floorboard, there's just piles of beer cans. That I thought that was a very funny touch. And the way everybody in the car has the same goals but different goals. Like there's the people in the back and they're getting turned on by the killings. And then there's the girl in the front who's getting turned on by the killings, but is also like really invested in the scorekeeping aspect of the game.
Yeah.
And then then
Literally double checking everyone's math.
I love
yeah,
that.
and then the driver guy is just like, kill! And
Yeah,
it's great.
that
It's
dude
so
is-
much fun.
That dude is caffeinated on murder.
Yeah, caffeinated's a choice. I think it might be a little stronger.
Caffeinated on murder.
I'm just keeping it PG.
Oh yeah, right. Monetized, right?
Okay, yeah.
Let's scoot forward to our sequels, which is Toxic Avenger 2 and Toxic Avenger 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie, both of which came out in 1989.
Yeah.
as I mentioned earlier, they started off as one movie and they became two because there was so much. Because Lloyd decided to take his production to Japan.
Yep.
Which, if you're Troma, I'm like, you went to Japan?
I think Lloyd just wanted to go to Japan. It was like,
Yeah, most
I can
Japan.
write it off if we do the movie there.
Oh,
I feel
right
like
on.
Lloyd knew a guy in Japan and was just like, "Hey, Greg, we're coming in." And Greg was like, "Yeah, man, we got pizza."
Well, I think also they had already done, I mean, this is 5 years between Toxic Avenger and when this movie comes out. They had already done quite a few of their low budget films in and around New Jersey and New York, and they were looking for a different setting, something that would spice it up and not just be another New Jersey set, low budget film.
This is sort of an old.
Yeah, Chad feels really bad about talking about Overfield.
Yeah, well, that's where we're different, Aaron. I have manners. But this is sort of a grand, overarching thing about kind of all the sequels, 2 through 4, but specifically 2 and 3. I like that they take what is ultimately a bone simple concept of Lloyd gets mutated and wrecks shit.
Tale is
but
all this time.
And the original is so it's already so far over the top, but they find a way to go crazier and bigger and like just totally raise the scope in every regard in every sequel. And it's truly impressive how devoted to bad taste they are. It's awesome.
I was noticing as I was doing this most recent viewing is that all of these films were over 90 minutes.
Yeah,
like none of these films,
It doesn't feel like it. Doesn't feel like it.
None of these films need to be anywhere near 90 minutes, and all of them are like 100 minutes or more.
I think Toxie 2 is like almost an hour and 45.
Yeah.
The director's cut's 103 minutes. I looked it up right here. 96 minutes is that one.
There you go. So that's an hour and 43 minutes, an hour and 46 minutes. Yeah. I was surprised, but again, the scope, like he is trying to get so much in there. And there are times where I'm kind of like, Lloyd, you didn't need to have all of them in there. They talk about killing your darlings, in film school. It's like, you can't put everything in that you shot. And Lloyd's like, the hell I can't.
But he literally kills all his darlings on screen, though. That's what it is.
Yeah. I'm going to pay
everyone.
my actors in ham sandwiches, and we're going to get this goddamn thing in the reel.
The ham sandwiches are also props, though, so be careful.
Most of,
Only too many.
most of the victims turned into the ham sandwiches. So it was like a self-sustaining system.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah,
do
so
a
they
quick
got poultry
callback
guys.
because Toxic Avenger, I think he fed his crew cheese sandwiches the entire shoot. Like it was just bread and cheese sandwiches.
Yeah. He writes about that in that Make Your Own Damn Movie. They were eating bread and cheese, and they were sleeping in like a warehouse with no electricity.
Nice.
Sounds like Jersey.
I feel it in the film.
But Toxic,
Totally, yeah.
Toxic Avenger was a big hit on video, and it played well in theaters, in fact, as well.
I mean, it got a whole toy and cartoon line, of course.
Yeah, which is wild.
Enormous
Wild.
hit, yeah.
Well, to be fair, they were turning a lot of weird movies into like toys and cartoons at the time.
That's
that
true.
you wouldn't
Absolutely. I mean,
think today,
if you
so.
think about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I mean, like that is clearly in the
Well,
same.
And that was a
This is
really
around
violent...
the time of like Street Sharks, maybe a
Oh,
little
Street
earlier
Sharks.
than that,
I saw
and like
Street Shark in Target
Inhumanoids.
today.
Oh, really? They're coming
Yeah,
back?
They're coming
you
back
see it?
around, yeah.
Hell
just-
yeah.
You
Street
gotta get it.
Sharks and Humanoids, Mad Balls, all my favorite things.
But yeah, and but Ninja Turtles is a great example because the comic that cartoon was based on was super violent,
So
Yeah.
dark.
like really
So dark.
intense, and it got spun into like the most digestible children's programming for 40 years running now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still going strong.
And I do like the fact that if we go to, when we go to Japan, we have Japanese actors, and there is like, I think if you're a fan of Japanese cinema, especially J-horror, you'll find that there's kind of a certain lens through which Japan does its horror films, and it's kind of outrageous. And I'm like, it's a perfect blend of Troma sensibilities and kind of that low budget J-horror schlock sensibility, where it's like anything goes, really. Like there's nothing too weird or wild.
He literally enters like Godzilla style in this movie.
Oh, he even says that in the
He
movie.
does that in the movie.
Does.
Yeah, he says I couldn't get a ticket or something, so I went Godzilla style.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Which is, as J horror as it gets.
I do love one of the characters' name is Big Mac Junko.
Big Mac Junko.
So
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
That's his
That's gonna
dad.
be my rap name.
Yeah, it's
That's
the
a good
dad.
one.
Also,
Yeah.
I can't believe there hasn't been anyone in the hip hop scene who hasn't taken the moniker Big Mac Junko.
Yeah, it's a
Truly,
great
truly.
name.
This is a
Lucy,
great
here
name.
we go. Let's do it. We've been talking about doing an entire album
Big
of
Mac
rap
Junko.
recaps of horror
On the track.
films. We can finally do it. We did Evil Dead Rise, so I feel like we
Well,
could do
I
it.
think you did Evil Dead Rise. I
No,
didn't do it.
you were
didn't-
there.
But you didn't give me a voice. I didn't have a sweet 16 on
That's
me.
because he's busy.
Oh my gosh.
We were talking about it. Sorry, Barry. I didn't mean to fight.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah,
I'll do it
sorry,
with you next
sorry,
time.
honey. Mommy and daddy are fighting right now.
Oh
Go to
my
your
God.
room and play with your mega blocks or whatever.
It's not
well,
about
let's
you.
be back.
Wait, come back, Barry. We're going to do a synopsis for Toxie 2.
Yeah.
Oh, we are. Okay.
At the end of Toxic Avenger, he has cleaned up Tromaville. And then we come back, and the evil corporation Apocalypse Incorporated has taken over next door, and they want to take over Tromaville. And we have the chairman, and the chairman whips up a scheme to come up with a chemical that will unbalance Toxie's chromatons. And they're in league with somebody in Japan, where the scientists all are apparently. And that's why they send Toxie to Japan in search of his father, because they tell him his father's there. And that's where our Big Mac Junko comes in, because that's the guy that they say is his dad.
Selling coke and fish.
That's right. So disappointing for his son.
That's our first album, Lucy.
yeah,
Coke and
that's
Fish.
a
What a
good-
name.
yeah, that's good.
What a
I think it's
title
right.
for the album, guys.
But I did like the part. I like how in Toxie 2 and 3, Toxie is the narrator.
Yes.
Of the
Right.
For those of you who have not seen him, Toxie narrates these movies. And when he meets his father, the narration is like, "Imagine how hard it was for me. My Tromatons made me attack my father." And then he picks him up and starts shaking him around, and it's awesome.
We switch Toxie's girlfriend. She's no longer named Sarah. She's named Claire.
Claire,
in the next
yeah.
few movies.
Claire.
And she is played by recording star Phoebe Leger.
Leger, right?
Yes.
Like she's I googled her because I was
my
like, that
gosh.
name is super familiar.
Yep.
Juilliard, by the way. Just putting it out there.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so she's
Hoity
like,
toity.
you
Yeah.
can tell
Didn't know
she's like a
that.
legit performer, because her performance is over the top, but it's intentionally so, and it's pitched just perfect. And then every once in a while, she pulls it back and delivers like Shakespearean verse, and you're like, wait a minute, you're a good actor, aren't you?
Hang
I have
on a
these-
minute.
Yeah,
Let's
hold-
see
this
your
movie.
degree.
Hold on
Hey,
to
you
that
have a thing.
thought, because I want to come back to that when we
Okay.
get to Toxie 3. Yeah.
Got it.
When we talk about, yeah, I agree. I have thoughts on this too.
They're the same movie. Let's just go.
It's that part at the in Toxie 3, the big plot rub is that she finds out there's a surgery she can get for her retinitis pigmentosa. Hold on, my hand is stuck to myself.
You're right there.
I have a pain I know all too well.
Yeah, sorry, I got
It's the
magnets.
static electricity.
It's cool.
Okay.
Well, you got
Anyway.
magnets. That's right.
Yeah, but
Oh, fancy! You can afford
Yeah, I'm
magnets.
high tech,
Magnets.
baby.
Oh, you can
Ugh.
read and you have magnets. Oh,
Yeah,
Packing
yeah, I'm
Bullshit
kind of
for
real
wings over
deal.
here, but you're all like
man.
Henson level.
Yeah, I'm kind of some hot shit. But the big plot rub of Toxie 3 is that Claire, as she's known now, has found out that there's a surgery that will allow her to have vision. And it's all she wants in the whole wide world, but it's $357,000. So yada, yada, yada. Toxie does some shit to get some cash, and she gets her eyes fixed, and Toxie loses himself a little bit. And she has this great speech where she's doing her normal delivery, where she's like, Toxie, I don't know what's gotten into you. No, she calls him Melvin. Melvin,
Melvin.
I don't know.
Melvin.
And she's all over the top. And then she just like stops
Yep.
and starts giving, she does the give me liberty or give me death speech and delivers it as if she's like on stage at the Globe. And then immediately flips back to, and you can just walk out that door and
And that's where you go, wait
That's
a
a
minute.
Juilliard grad.
yeah.
Here's a fun little bit about Leger. In I wrote this down. Hang on. Tap. Okay. In 2013, she created something called the Shaman Cycle, which is a four-wheeled alternative vehicle designed in the form of a moving giant eagle sculpture, constructed from repurposed metal and powered by alternative energy, which had room for 15 people, the idea of which came to her in a dream.
Wow.
Wait,
It's Juilliard, baby.
what the hell are you? That is. Wild.
I don't know. I didn't stutter. I feel like I
is
made
what-
myself very clear.
You were pretty clear. You were
She's a
pretty
recording artist and she's an engineer.
What
She's
are
an
they putting in
engineer
the water
on
that's doing that?
ayahuasca.
Yeah,
apparently.
clearly. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the alternative fuel sources that she's talking about?
Yeah, it's DMT. Yeah,
That being said, though, she did open for David Bowie in 1990 for Sound and
Right.
Vision.
Okay,
Right.
that's
Just
Which
putting
is
that out there.
a
actually.
year after this movie comes out.
year
She's
after this
opening
movie.
for David
Yep.
Bowie.
Whoa.
I bet she was like opening. She's like, I made it. I was in Toxic Avenger. I'm opening for David Bowie.
That's right.
It.
I
This
just
is the top,
invented.
baby.
I just invented a motorcycle that runs on dreams, so I win.
Amazing.
Barry, what were your thoughts?
I
on,
literally was going to say almost exactly what Lucy said, because that scene just sticks out so much because she's so good in it, and you're
Yep.
like, why are you in this movie? But also, I feel like 3 is my favorite of them because the ridiculousness of like Toxie be going corporate and like becoming a yuppie is like, what a character arc. How do you
Let's
don't
do
expect
brunch,
that after
baby.
3? Yeah, it's wild. It's so crazy.
Well, and Lloyd is somebody who has not been shy about his political views, and he is, or at least outwardly, he's all about, like, he doesn't like big corporations. He doesn't like, he's big on environmentalism. Like, he's pointing up things that are wrong and fucked up in the world.
Yeah.
And like, this is his, I feel like this is his means of protest, and it's not a very effective means of protest, but it's
Goddamn,
protest
it's
nonetheless.
entertaining.
Exactly.
And yeah, in case you don't know, viewer, these are all bullshit aside, right? These are like seriously environmentalist movies. There's a lot of
They
stuff
are.
about dumping trash everywhere and Toxie's beating up on people that are doing it, and it's like Captain Planet if he didn't suck.
Yeah, it's like Captain Planet, but also like made by a bunch of openly like queer, transgender, like it's
Yep.
just like across
Yeah.
the board, like
All the
they're-
non-normatives
Yeah.
are in this. You have found your tribe right here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
love that. In the first Toxic Avenger, when they're in the gym, there's the two like really fey gay dudes.
That's right. That's right.
And they're like holding on each other and looking at muscle magazines, and it's definitely in there for a laugh, but it doesn't feel like
it doesn't feel mean
mean.
spirited.
No, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
It
absolutely
feels kind of
doesn't.
fun and campy.
Yeah,
Feels like
it
these are the
doesn't.
people in your neighborhood.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
I would even go so far as to get serious and be like, it's a funny image without being like homophobic about
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Yeah.
it was really cool for me to see.
Fun story though. Toxic Avenger 2, film debut of Michael J. White.
That's right. I'm glad you
just
said
an
that.
FYI.
Really?
Yeah, that's
So I
his
was
first film.
watching-
Spawn was spawned
Yep.
in Toxie 2.
Well, so you said Spawn. I was thinking Black Dynamite, but
I mean, also Black
I mean,
Dynamite,
Also
but
Black Dynamite,
I
but-
figure for the purposes of our campy ass little crew here,
Now,
I feel like
Chad,
Spawn.
Chad,
Well,
you
that's the
haven't
one I
seen-
remember.
You haven't seen Toxie 2 though, right?
No, I have never seen Toxie 2.
Okay,
I did
it's-
take notes though.
I was watching Toxie 2 and I was like, who is that African American badass back there? And I'm like, is that Michael J. White? Is that Michael J. White? And you roll the credits and it's Michael White. And I was like,
Ah,
get the
yeah.
hell out of here.
that's awesome. I did not even
Yep.
catch that. That's
Yep.
so
So
cool.
he would later go on to write and direct Black Dynamite and star in Spawn, and he's just
Right.
awesome. He's just such
I
a cool
threw that
guy.
shit before I left the moon.
He was also Jack Briggs in Mortal Kombat Legacy. I have to give him credits for that because I am a Mortal Kombat junkie. And
this
someday we'll do that movie on this cast because I want to watch Mortal Kombat again and I want an excuse to.
Yep.
I liked what was it? Annihilation, was that the other Mortal
That's the
Kombat
second
movie?
one.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
Mortal
love that movie.
Kombat Legacy is a game. Well, it's not a game. Well, it was a game. It was a DVD. Don't worry about it. We'll do that on the
I
other one.
really like listening to Chad qualify this piece of media. That was
I will
gonna be
always
accurate
qualify Mortal Kombat because I'm an avid fan.
oh yeah.
there are we got a new actor playing Toxie.
Toxie, right?
In 2 and 3, actually 2 actors, because John Altamura started off playing Toxie and then apparently got a bit big for his britches.
Yup.
And got kicked off, and Ron Fazio took over and ended up voicing everything. So there are 2 actors playing Toxie in this one.
According to the things I read, Altamura actually complained about the makeup and threatened people.
Yeah.
You don't do that on set.
No, come on, be cool.
Not on a Lloyd Kaufman set.
Makeup, man.
Yeah,
No one's
Lloyd's
getting
the only
paid. We're
person
getting
allowed
paid
to
at
threaten.
exactly. Unless you're Lloyd Kaufman, everybody's getting paid at cheese. Calm down.
First rule is be nice.
Be nice.
Well, and then the other person I want to shout out is Joe Fleischaker, who is the big dude with the big beard who shows up in every Troma movie, pretty much from this movie on. And he's also somebody who, whenever they're doing like their behind the scenes documentaries, they always refer to him as Michael Herz, which is Lloyd Kaufman's,
really
Lloyd Kaufman's
awesome.
producing partner, but it's obviously not Michael Herz. But Michael Herz isn't going to be dumb enough to be seen on camera, so Joe Fleischaker becomes our guy. But I love seeing him show up, and he shows up again as we move forward into Toxie 4.
Toxie 4.
Citizen Toxie.
Citizen Toxie.
Fun story about Joe Fleischaker, though. I actually know this one. Was in Sharknado 3.
I believe it.
And before we move on from Toxic Avenger 3, I have to get this off of my chest.
Oh,
the donkey mutant woman, wherever you are, please call me.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and I feel like
Yeah.
I jumped a little too quickly because the plot of Toxie 3 is basically the chairman of Apocalypse Incorporated turns out to be the devil.
Of course, the devil.
And so
Satan, I believe it's called.
Toxie is fighting the fucking devil.
Nice.
In a video game, by the
Yes,
way.
video game.
5 levels of
Wild.
doom.
Wild.
And there's
Ahead
some
of its time.
amazing stunts in that video game sequence, like that fucking bus.
I do like in the one scene where the bus is going through the mud pit, and it's like definitely obviously a dummy strapped to the front of the bus. It's awesome. It
Yeah.
rolls.
But the bus that falls off the cliff and then, they rewind it as it goes back up the cliff to get up to the top of the cliff.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I love the fact that they just threw a school bus off of a cliff and let mayhem ensue.
Awesome.
Anybody
Awesome
else want
movie.
to say anything about 3 before we move on?
Hot donkey mutant woman. Call me. Call
We've been
me.
about all night. Thank you for that, Lucy.
And then we jet forward to 2001, which is when the Citizen Toxie, Toxic Avenger Part 4 is released. And they actually kind of talk shit about the Toxie 2 and 3 at the beginning.
Yeah, what
They're
it
like,
says,
they're like,
we had
ignore.
2 dog shit sequels, so here's the real one.
Real one. We want.
Narrated by Stan Lee is
Right.
the
Oh,
opening
yeah,
narrator of that
Stan Lee
movie.
does the-
Yeah.
I was listening to that this morning. I was like, wait, that's not.
Yup.
By God, it is.
Yep. Well,
all
this
he
is
needed was one.
This is the
Excelsior.
one. This is the one that has all the cameos and stuff like
well,
that.
if you think about it, we're
Yeah,
20
yeah.
years into Troma at this point. Troma has been a household, certain households, household name
Cool
for 20
household.
years, and
the
they
best
get
ones.
tons of cameos.
Yeah, Corey Feldman's in this one. James Gunn is in this one before James Gunn was James Gunn. Ron Jeremy is in this one. Kevin Eastman, speaking of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is in this one. And Lemmy, who
I thought
dearly
that was
departed
Lemmy
Lemmy.
Kilmister.
Yup.
I thought that was him. I'd recognize that birthmark anywhere.
And Eli Roth is in this movie, by the
Eli
way.
Roth is in the movie. Debbie Rochon is in the movie.
Hugh Hefner is the president.
Hefner.
Well,
Hugh Hefner.
he was the president, and then his people said to cut him out. And so, if you see the closing credits, he says no thanks to after they have the thanks.
He's such a bitch. I love it. Oh my God.
He says
That's
no
awesome.
thanks to Hugh Hefner, who has to be cut out.
That's funny.
And you can see a stark jump in quality.
Oh heck yeah!
From the earlier ones on the
Heck
Citizen
yeah!
Toxie,
They I don't know if they had a budget or they just had better filmmaking, but it's a much better. It's
I
also
think it
shot
might be
on
a
video.
little
I think
A
too.
and B. Yeah.
Also,
this
this one cements it in the Tromaverse because the guy from I think it was Class of Nukem High plays the same character in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
What's
putting it
his
out
name?
there.
Warren?
Warren, yeah, that's the one.
Character name, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys
But-
say that? What's his name? Kevin Eastman was in this one too. Did we say that already?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
saying.
Okay, thank you. And also, oh my God, what was that website from the 2000s that had that? This is terrible. That school shooting game. The guy who created
Oh!
that website also has.
Are
a
you
cameo.
talking about Consumption Junction, or are you talking about
No,
E-Bomb's
no.
World?
Newgrounds.
Newgrounds, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come
That
on,
guy.
Chad. E-Bomb's World just stole content from other websites. And
Yeah, that's
We wanted to know, Lucy, would you do the synopses for Citizen Toxie?
I remember this.
Okay.
I remember it starts with the Toxic Avenger and his sidekick Lard
Lardass.
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 Played by Joe Flyshaker.
Yep, the
Yeah.
one and only.
And they're saving a developmentally challenged classroom from another gang of Batman.
Called the Diaper Mafia, which I
Yeah.
thought was
Yeah.
incredible.
Led by Trent Haga.
Yep.
and so they have to break this up, and there's a bomb that goes off, and yada yada yada. Universes collide.
You can't
And-
yada yada multiverse.
Oh yeah, I can't
mean, you
go
can.
both to Disney.
You can.
You can absolutely yada yada a multiverse.
I
a
saw
minute, wait a minute.
Quantumania.
Is this where the multiverse was born?
I
Gotta
was
be.
gonna say Toxie did it better
Gotta
than
be.
any Marvel movie. Let's be honest.
So yeah, a bomb goes off, and that explosion for some reason causes two parallel dimensions to collide, wherein our beloved what do they call him? Supersized with superhuman strength mutant superhero Toxie gets sent to the parallel universe of Amortville,
Right.
and his
Oh, Noxie. Are you talking about Noxie?
No,
hang
Toxie-
on.
No. Okay.
let me
Noxie's
get
a
there.
bad-
I'm sorry. I was nervous. I knew these. I knew this one.
So Toxie gets sent to Amortville, and it from Amortville comes the noxious offender,
There we
sort
are.
of
There we
Toxic
go.
Avengers like Bizarro Superman type. And Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD is like some sort of criminal. It's bonkers. That's about as far as I
No,
got.
that was actually quite well done, Lucy. Thank
Well done. Claps all around.
you. So basically, we find
And he beats up Nazis in a hospital.
Yep.
Right.
What more can you ask for?
Well, in Amortville, which is Troma backwards for those who were playing at home, Amortville
We said no math.
is where everything
This is language arts.
is terrible and awful, and then we come back to Tromaville where everything's nice, right? And then you see the two switch, and Noxie is like just everybody's like, why are you being so awful to everybody? And then of course in Mortville, Toxie is lost amongst the darker
dregs
side
of society.
Yeah, the darker side. And his girlfriend has a doppelganger. Like everybody has a doppelganger from the Tromaville.
I
Yeah,
like
it's
that they do
basically
address the name.
Dickens meets It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Except with more boobs, because when
Several more boobs.
when
What's
Toxie
more?
shows up in Amortville, all the like heroin girlies just start pulling their boobs out at him. And then,
Well, how are you gonna know what chapter you're on if you haven't seen?
That's a good point.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
but
the
there's
only
too
marker.
many- there's too many in one scene, so you're gonna get. If you try to do the chapter skip on the DVD, you're just gonna go forward like 2 seconds. It's stupid. It's pointless. Spread them out. That's all I'm saying. Spread them out.
Yeah.
But and then when I did think it was very funny when Noxie shows up in Tromaville and everyone thinks he's the Toxic Avenger, even though he's got a chain with a big N on it
Yup.
and an obnoxious
Yep.
Edgar haircut.
Yep.
Like, what's the deal with that? It's so
Yeah, that's
funny.
like a Clark Kent Superman situation. You're like, he's right there.
This is
Come
totally Noxie.
on.
Who else has this?
When
face only
did
your mother could love?
when did Spock grow a mustache? Come on, guys.
Spock. That's a very interesting choice. Have you been eating spores again? I don't know.
Yup.
Yup.
What else have I been doing this whole time?
Now I'm gonna smack Kirk around a little bit. Yeah.
And we have, as you mentioned, Lucy, we have a lot more nudity in this one.
Yeah.
And I think, like intentionally over the top in terms of like, we have the sign language interpreter who's just topless, for no reason at all. And then basically
Oh, I think there's a very good reason for that.
just
Doc.
stops
so too. I
interpreting
think so too.
altogether and is just like eating a pizza.
Again, Chapter 4, get your women naked.
And I like that Toxie is introduced in this one as he goes in to save the developmentally challenged children. And then he goes in as his sexy reporter disguise.
Totally fooled me. Totally fooled me.
Had no idea.
Had to pause it.
And then transforms into his glorious self.
Toxic Avenger. Yeah.
But I think, Lucy, that this is the most accomplished of the bunch.
I think it had the highest budget too, right?
I couldn't imagine that it
It had
doesn't.
to be.
I mean,
This is the only
I
other
couldn't-
Toxic Avenger movie I've seen.
this one has a
Is
budget.
Citizen Toxie.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up the
And-
budget. Hang on, you guys keep talking.
Yep, that's good.
It's got. I don't know if he was making movies to this scale at this time or not,
Right.
but it's got this like Robert Rodriguez-ness about it that's
Yep.
very indicative of early 2000s like exploitation style films to me. But man, they do it with such panache.
Yep.
They do.
And I
They
thi-
do. $500,000. That's what it was, by the way. That's
Right,
what
which is like
Which
what?
is
A
like
Troma?
$400 million
Crazy.
for Troma. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's
You
like
know, it's weird.
17,000 promo movie budgets.
Because
put
I'm seeing that
together.
the budget for Toxic Avenger 2 is 2.5 million.
No way.
Is that
And that's
adjusted
what
for
I'm seeing. It
inflation,
doesn't
or-
say it's
Hang on, I gotta
adjusted. It
see.
sounds like that's what it was. That's so
Interesting.
weird. Where did that money
Where
go
did
into
they- I was
Toxic
like, where did
Avenger
they get
3?
$2.5 million.
It
Wow.
went-
I have a
it went
feeling I know where it went.
It went into Lloyd Kaufman cleaning all the shit out of the
The cheese sandwiches were a little better, if you know what I'm saying.
basement.
Yeah, we'll say that. Yeah.
Anybody have any favorite moments they'd like to cite from Citizen Toxie?
Beating up Nazis in a hospital.
Never
Yes.
mad about beating up Nazis.
And not
Mad
just
about
beating them
that.
up like Indiana Jones style, smacking them around. He's like pulling their guts out
Yep.
and just going
He's
full
killing
Toxie on it. It's awesome.
Yeah. I like when she has also a Sergeant Kabuki Man baby at the end of the movie.
Yep.
That is amazing. Because that's how it works. It's going to come out looking exactly like that, right?
Yeah, it comes out in Kabuki makeup. Yeah.
My favorite moment is the end of the movie where they remind everybody to recycle your bottles and cans. that warmed my little bird heart at the end. I was like, thanks, man. Thanks.
I'd like to throw out a shout out for our baby fight while Toxie and Toxie are fighting in the hospital room inside of
Inside.
I think is she Sarah? I think she's back to being
Sarah,
Sarah.
yeah.
now.
Well, there's Sarah and Claire in this movie. They
Yeah.
have both names.
Right, that's right.
No, it's
Yeah.
in Sarah. It's in Sarah is what's
Have to
happening
address
next.
the multiverse. But yeah, she's Sarah, and inside of her womb, evil Toxie and regular Toxie are fighting it out as well with mops. They have
Yep.
mops in the womb.
Little baby
It's
mom.
cinema. Yeah.
And we see a bunch of guest stars in this. In addition to Sergeant Kabuki Man, we have our evil cock monster from Class of Nukem
Class of
High.
Nukem High.
Yeah, some Nukem.
We have our cowboy hero. Is that Tromeo and Juliet?
Tromeo and Juliet,
I
I think.
believe so. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. And then I don't know if this character's in any other movie, but Masturbator, the rapper.
Again,
maybe.
Great rap name.
Maybe.
Great
Or he's-
name.
I think that's right.
Maybe in Terra Firma? I don't remember.
Okay,
Maybe it's
all
Terra.
right.
Yeah. Maybe it was Terra
That
Firma.
could
Yeah.
be. That could be. But yeah, it's just a cavalcade of celebrating Troma, and I think that's kind of what this movie set out to be. And I also like that it kind of got, if you'll pardon the expression, Lloyd's juices flowing again because then
I don't want to be
Poltergeist
thinking about Lloyd's juices. I tell you.
You don't have to think about it. They're on screen.
comes out, and I was like, this is actually a really good movie. I think Poltergeist is great.
I haven't ever seen that one.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Oh
no,
my
I saw
gosh, you're gonna love it.
Thanksgiving, and I thought that checked
That's
the boxes
so.
for
That's
birds.
And that is
just mean.
not Troma.
Poltergeist.
No,
is just
definitely
mean.
not. I'm just saying that was as many like turkey and/or avian-based horror movies.
Yeah,
as
no,
I
no,
needed
but
to see.
Poltergeist-
There
lately.
haven't been a lot. It is
Way
nice
better.
to see.
Way
on
better.
occasion.
This one has music. Come on, Lucy. You got to see
Oh,
it.
it's a
Night of the
full-on
Chicken
musical.
Dead, man.
It is a
Okay.
full-on
That is
musical.
But there's some sort of movie that's got like spiders and lesbians, and it's a musical, and it's a.
Hey,
trauma
Siri,
thing.
tell me the lesbian spider musical.
Oh man, your algorithm is fucked now,
Oh,
bud.
man.
Wait, so this is the Poltergeist one is the one that has wait. There's a character named Red Lobster in that movie, right?
I think so.
Oh
think so.
God,
I heard he
God.
just went bankrupt. That's very sad.
There's a character named Paco
Poor guy.
Bell in that movie. Am I thinking? Was there two? Was there two Poltergeists or was there only one?
Just the
think-
one. Just the
I
one.
Just
think
the one.
there's
Okay, so that's Night of the Chicken Dead. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Are you hungry, Chad?
I'm
Are you-
also well. I wouldn't be hungry for that. That'd be a little weird.
I mean,
But I
we're
absolutely
talking
would eat
weird
some
stuff
Taco
today,
Bell.
I know.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a character called Baco Bell in that movie. I remember that being funny. And they're all named after fast food people. That's right. Oh my God, I'm right. There's a character named Arby. There's a character named Wendy, and a character named Denny and Hummus and Carl Jr. and Paco Bell. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about
Almost like
that.
they thought it out.
I need a recording of Chad going, "Oh my God, I'm right," from my text messages.
It's very rarely happens. That should be my ringtone. Wait, when I call you, can that be my ringtone?
That's what I'm trying to get set up, bud.
Okay, let's do it.
Sounded so surprised. It was awesome.
It's nice when you Google and are correct. I'm just saying, I'm very happy.
Bringing it all back around, let's give our final thoughts on the original Toxic Avenger, Troma in general, Lloyd Kaufman, whatever you'd like to leave on the record. Let's start off with Lucy.
Toxic Avenger. Oh, here we go. Writ large. Remember that?
Yeah.
I was waiting for that to come back.
Yeah. We call that a callback, baby. But I mean, Toxic Avenger on the whole
Feels good.
Yeah, I do agree. Toxic Avenger does feel good on the whole. We also do some Austin Powers around here.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, just enough. But no, I do think Toxic Avenger it's the cult movie to end all cult movies, and is the cult movie to which every cult movie after wants to be, whether they will admit to that or not. And I think that Troma is such a widely important piece of independent B genre, whatever you want to call it, filmmaking. And they need way more recognition and love than they get. Because, I mean, among the weirdos, everybody loves Troma. Right. But you can't just go to somebody and be like, yo, Troma, like you can something like an Amblin or whatever.
They'd be like, what do you mean, trauma? What are you talking about, trauma?
I can't tell you how many people have said, what's a trauma movie? When I say, have you ever heard of Troma? Yep. And like they need their props because they're well earned and they've put their stripes in. Like it's such a huge, prolific slew of movies. And I think they serve as an excellent message that with a little bit of knowledge, elbow grease, and cheese sandwiches, anybody can go out and make a film.
Beautifully said, Lucy. And I do feel like Troma is sadly being forgotten by the younger generation. I don't think they aren't appreciated. They aren't in the public mind anymore, and that's a real tragedy because they were so present for the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chad.
I agree with Lucy as always. Troma is the alpha and the omega and the smegma of
that one, yeah.
Of everything that you know and love, like Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, any of the like we wouldn't have Cabin in the Woods, I think, if you were to draw a straight line without any of this, without any of the Toxic Avenger movies, without Troma, without any of it. I wouldn't have a career without Troma, to be honest. I don't think any of us here would. I don't think anyone would take a chance on a bunch of colorful weirdos in a room without Troma. If you want to go back to the roots, that's where it all began. And I mean, I love me some John Waters. I love me some John Waters, but like this is just a different level. It's the whole movies smell like action figure plastic and fake blood, and that's just all I need. I'm always gonna be happy to have it. I'm always gonna be happy to watch it.
Well said. Barry.
Well, this is going to sound a little crazy, but I feel like, I watched a lot of movies growing up. A lot of them inspired me to like do what I do today, to like make movies and stuff. I think Toxic Avenger was the first time I realized that movies didn't have to be good and they could just be. No,
they don't have to be good though. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
Really, truly the first time I realized that, I was like, holy hell, like, you're just making it for the sake of making it because you want to do it and it's fun. And I think that kind of like broke my brain and unlocked it a little bit to make me realize we can just do whatever the hell we want. Who cares? It doesn't have to be for money. Like, we could just make stuff because we like it. And I think it does an excellent, I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But like, I think it makes people like us really consider like, hey, just do the thing. Even if you don't have money, you just do it anyway. Just get it done.
Seriously, man, I was thinking about that while I was watching Citizen Toxie again, that it reminds me like Deadpool. Any of the Deadpool franchise would not exist without the Troma films.
Exactly.
Totally.
Because they are the groundwork, they're like the framework for all of this.
Deadpool is Toxic Avenger with a fresh coat of paint.
with a Marvel
Absolutely.
budget.
Absolutely.
Barry, I thought that was really well said. I agree that they
It won't
really
happen
said you can do whatever you want. You know,
Classic.
you can like Lloyd's book. You know, make your own damn movie. If you don't like it, if somebody won't let you make a movie, make your own movie, and that's what he says. There's a very punk rock aesthetic to it, and he's just like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm going to make a movie. And he does it. If it's cheese sandwiches and Caro syrup, that's what we're going to do. And he succeeded beyond, I think, anybody's expectations. You know, the fact that Troma has had the success that it's had is against all odds. And hats off to Lloyd, hats off to Troma, and hats off to 40 years of the Toxic Avenger.
And Troma has their own streaming service, guys.
Yup.
You can subscribe and get access to like all the fucking Troma movies that are out there. And it's not like it's expensive. It's Troma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we will have to regroup because there is the Toxic Avenger remake.
Yeah, it's coming. They keep
directed
threatening
by-
it.
It's
I can't
been,
wait to see it.
Yeah, it's been out there at the
Peter
various films
Dinklage.
festivals. Peter
and- but
Dinklage,
it's-
directed by Macon Blair.
Yeah.
and
I've heard, isn't word on the street that the movie's done, but nobody will touch it?
Yeah, they said it was unwatchable. It was like, bro, have you seen the original?
Yeah, what are you talking
That's
about?
the idea.
That's
Of
not
course
what I
it
read.
is.
The reviews I've read were actually pretty favorable, so I'm curious.
Well, they probably know what they're talking about. And
Well,
the other
that's
reviews
why.
are just
What's
like,
that
I don't know,
kind
this looks like a gross, farty snot movie. And we're like, well, yeah, I mean, is
Well,
that
yeah, it is.
why we're here?
From the thing Barry and I are sort of making reference to there, I believe it was a, some fucking jagoff in a tie that was saying
Yeah,
it was
that makes sense.
unwatchable. Because it's
Are we getting back into reviewers on TikTok again? Because we said we wouldn't talk about it.
This is beyond reviewers on TikTok. This is the movers and the shakers, the people at the tables making the decisions,
C-suite.
not
The
taking any
room
risk.
where it happens.
Yeah.
Nobody's in the room. Oh wait, no, we might get struck for that. Sorry.
I was gonna say,
Sorry.
careful.
Sorry, I'm in the middle of litigation with YouTube about a video I tried to upload. I'm mad about it.
I posted one thing about Auntie Anne's pretzels this week, and I already got flagged on Instagram. So nobody's quoting
I
Hamilton.
just watched it. I just watched
Oh,
the
did you
video.
watch
It's
it?
so
Oh,
good.
thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
it
glad
was
you
really
watched
funny.
it. Thank you.
Sorry, it's
All
gone.
right. Well, thank
No, it's still there. It's just I get like
Okay,
pinged.
keep telling yourself that, Shaq. Keep
Oh,
telling
I
yourself
see it.
that.
I'm looking at it.
Well, thank you all so much. It's been an awesome conversation, and looking forward to have you all back. Barry, thank you so much for coming on
Yeah,
and joining.
Thanks for
Barry!
having me, guys.
Looking,
Barry!
Barry!
looking forward to next time.
Me too.
And until next time, keep searching, keep exploring, and keep sharing the scare.